Hello, Reformers, and welcome back to Perisno. Now, when we left off, we had just taken on a rather remarkable battle in these forests here, and we are now right next to Nadar Castle, and who else but Lord Marayir is actually in the garrison here too. But before we actually head inside, we are going to be speaking to Tylan, and seeing what we can actually get him here. Well, he actually has a remarkable amount of power strike already, so I think we might want to get him 12 in intelligence, get an additional skill point, and also then if he does become a lord at some point, he has the option to go for 4 pathfinding as well. But for now, considering he is not probably going to become a lord very soon anyway, we're going to be giving him 2 more points in Iron Flesh. That is going to make a huge difference to the amount of damage that he's able to take, or at least it's going to give him, well, 4 more HP, as well as a little bit of absorption as well, because of course Perisno has an additional benefit to getting more Iron Flesh. So yeah, I've got to say that seems like a good plan anyway. And so what are we going to do here? Well, I would like to go for 18 agility, but there really is no reason to do that, except if we were going to go for 7 in riding skill, but even then, really not anything to write home about there. So, other than that, the only thing I can say is athletics, or Iron Flesh once again, or Trainer actually. Trainer might be the way to go too, but I think Iron Flesh this time around. Hopefully get Silavethiel near to 70 HP. That seems to be a pretty magic number for most people. And hopefully we'll see a couple more of our units level up as well as time goes on. Now we do have 70 prisoners, and I was thinking of heading back to Galway, but then I remembered, no, we do not have any ransom brokers there whatsoever, or slave traders, anything to that effect. So I'm going to see what we can do by taking Nadar Castle, and then we'll head on to Murdenhall, and we'll see whether there is one there. So, without further ado, let us head inside, and ooh, yes, very nice indeed. We are greeted by the best siege equipment, of course, which is a ladder, and the Kingdom of Torania has now seen fit to declare war against us. Well, that is remarkable. It's actually not very surprising, considering we do own, I think, probably about half the map by now, and the problem with that particular declaration is the fact that we are now at war against, I think, 4 simultaneous factions against us right now. So, yeah, a little bit worrying, I gotta say. Now, we have waited until it has passed dawn, because we do want to make sure that we are fighting in reasonable light. I really do not like fighting in the night time anyway. So, yes, now, the one problem I have foreseen here is the fact that they do have an overwhelming amount of Machiavellian marksmen, and some of them are of the heavy variety as well, so there is that to be a little bit concerned about. Now, we do have how many? 22 archers. That's actually rather impressive, and hopefully we'll make good use of them. So let's just see what we're... Oh, careful. As we see here, Iron Flesh soaked a little bit of damage for us right there. Very, very nice to see that. Now, we are going to be telling our infantry and cavalry, and we're going to tell our companions, who are going to obviously help us with surgery, to stand over there, because, well, we want them to stay alive as much as possible, and our archers are going to stay outside. Hopefully, they will be covering our assault up the ladder here, and, well, we are losing quite a few units on the ascent up the ladder, but that is necessary. It is a necessary price to pay for victory overall, if we are even going to attain victory. Let us just cross our fingers and hope that we actually do a good job. Wow, we actually just zeroed in on Lord Marayir right away there. That was, wow, actually pretty impressive, I gotta say. That was very, very nice to see indeed. We were able to take out the enemy lord very, very easily indeed as well. And we don't have to worry about him actually doing considerable damage any further, because obviously he was throwing axes, and I would assume that he has some incredibly good... Oh, no, careful. He has some incredibly high damage. Now, what is going on with the stairs here? Ah, there we go. Okay, so it seems you need to jump up the initial stair to actually get on top of the archery nest. That is seeming to be a pretty good defensive measure. Ooh, we need to charge our archers in. That would probably help us out. Oh my. Okay, that's a little bit worrying that we have quite a few units still to take out. And we have a lot of marksmen on the bottom in the courtyard there, as we get taken out by a North Guard. Unfortunate, isn't it? Yes, very unfortunate. But thankfully enough, we do have our archers coming in here now. I am a little bit worried, I have to say, considering we have lost, well, a rather remarkable amount. 44 units, in fact, we have lost. And they have lost 77. So I suppose the only thing we can kind of hope for right now is that our archers will get in on the battlements as quickly as possible and then start raining down death upon the enemy archers. If they don't see fit to do that, however, then we are going to be... Oh, I should have targeted these guys down. Yeah, definitely should have targeted these guys down. That would have been making a huge impact on the actual victory status here. Otherwise, we may indeed see a very large casualty report at the end. Oh my. Okay, well, that's not going well, is it? No, not going well at all. However, we do have a couple of units actually... Yes, there we go. Thankfully enough, most of these units are actually able to get up the stairs, and hopefully they will be taking out those heavy marksmen. Wow, those guys really do know how to deal damage, and I think that's actually who was responsible for the majority of damage that we took as we entered, apart from obviously the final blow that was inflicted by a North Guard there. Okay, so the one thing I suppose we can do is just wait and see what happens. Many of these units still have arrows, which I have to say is very nice to see, because now we can get a little bit more ranged damage on many of their crossbowmen as well. Ah, yes. Of course, the enemies are now getting some reinforcements too, but as you see, wow, look at all of the arrows that are littering the ground here, but we don't want them littering the ground, do we? We want them littering the bodies of our enemies. But, yes, obviously not right now. We are obviously just going to be focusing on getting down these stairs and making our way into the courtyard. Let's see. So we've actually so far taken out 160. That is around the same number that Lord Marriere actually has in his army itself. So that is somewhat good, but also somewhat bad, because we still have to fight the actual garrison itself. And I'm not entirely sure how many more marksmen they have for us to fight. So we'll no doubt find out as time goes on. We are clearing the stairs. We are actually clearing the stairs. We're losing a lot of very, very valuable units. Maybe we should retreat. I'm actually going to retreat right now, because we are starting to lose way too many units, in my opinion, because many of our archers are, well, in melee, and they are never very good in melee, so we're just going to be retreating, building our ladders for 5 hours. That seems to be a little bit more of a secure position for us to take here, and we're now going to be heading back in. Of course, Scout has now restored half of his HP thanks to our medicinal skills, and we are now going to also be hoping that many of our archers have been getting more ammunition for the inevitable deaths that they will cause. Very, very nicely indeed. As you can see, look at that. They are just raining down doom and destruction upon our opponent. And now we're going to be heading into the battlements and taking out these guys, hopefully not getting ourselves killed in the process. That appears to be a very likely proposition as well, considering many of these guys are actually swords masters, and we need to be very, very careful of those. Okay, let's just make sure that we can take out these guys there. Now, I am hoping, of course, that we will be able to take many of these units prisoner, because that is the main reason why we are even able to fund the current army we have. And do bear in mind, even though we have 200,000 in our treasury, or technically in our inventory right now, it is still not a very large amount of money. We would be able to sustain ourselves for about 10 weeks, probably, if we didn't get any profit whatsoever from slave trading and selling things and so on. But that is still a little bit worrying, because what if we suffer a defeat, or What if something happens, like we lose many fiefs in a row, or whatever the case may be? I would like to have a little bit of security just in case something were to happen in that aspect. So yes, let's try and get that actually as a reality soon. Let's tell our archers to now charge in as well. We are going to have a couple of difficulties actually approaching the enemy archers, because of course they are crossbowmen. They are dug in very heavily as well. They seem to be in a very good position overall, to be honest. They are very easily able to aim at our units. Even the units that are coming in, they are able to deal significant damage to. And we even have some units over there that are firing, and firing with deadly accuracy, might I add as well. So let us try just to eliminate these guys down there. Yes, it appears as though our army is taking care of that very easily indeed. And now we will be making our way over here. And, oh, very nice. A double staircase. That's very cool. I like that. So we can now... Ah, okay, yes. There was a reason why there was a double staircase. I thought I could actually just swing around and maybe get the last couple of units. But no, there it is. It appears as though our archers were accurate enough to eliminate those guys, no problem at all. 131 of them. And we are now able to rescue many prisoners, which I have to admit is a welcome sight, especially this, a demon lord, as well as a divine aetherling as well, 2 of them, in fact, some Zan kamikaze warriors, Perisno cavalry, Bluewood scouts. How can we say no to any of this? Very nice units indeed, and we are of course going to be taking many enemies prisoner too. So let's just see here, what else do we have? Well, we have some Limbard squires and knights too. And a lot of Illica Falki units too. Wow, that is very nice. Wow, look at that. We have almost reimbursed all of the units that we lost in the actual offensive. And what other units do we have here? Well, it appears we have Knights of the Eagle as well, and some Eagle retainers. Goodness me, we are going to have a very strong army indeed. Look at this. We still have not even taken all of the very good units that we can get. But look at this, it's absolutely amazing how you're able to recruit so many just from rescued prisoners. Wolf Squire, thank you. Is there anything else here? Well, Volhir raiding archers. Probably not going to be taking these guys. We're going to take some brigands, though, instead. And, I'm just taking a look through the list here, and it doesn't seem as though there's anything else that is really worth taking. Maybe apart from this, Wandering Criminal is okay. But generally everything else I am going to have to level up rather considerably to make any use of. So yes, I sound quite cutthroat there, but that is the reality of things right now. We are going to have to level these guys up, and they are going to prove quite the liability up until the time where they actually do level up. So, there we go. We can now exit. And we're going to be giving... yes, I'm actually a little bit worried about Lord Yuan, because even though he's actually pretty good, I gotta say. He's actually pretty good. He's a Zan kamikaze... Well, not a kamikaze. He's a Zan dynasty, in fact. He is a vassal of theirs, or was. And, well, he doesn't seem to be doing much, which is really quite unfortunate. However... what we are going to now be doing, now that we've taken Nadar Castle, is heading on to Murdenhall, and then stopping off at Volderberg, apparently, because Volderberg has now just come under siege. And then we will be making our way to Uliastai, because we want to accept a couple more vassals into the ranks, because obviously we currently have a very large territory, and this territory is not going to govern itself, well, not going to protect itself from such an overwhelming amount of area to cover, is it? I mean, we actually do need some vassals to cover a couple of things here, so let's actually just see what's going on here. We have a drunk, so we are actually going to just be speaking to him, are we? Is he going to talk to us? No, it appears he's not going to talk to us, so in other words, we'll just speak to the ransom broker and sell all of the prisoners. 22,000, that will cover our wages for this week, which I gotta say is very nice to see, and now we will head on to Volderberg. Let's hope that Lord Yuan does a good job in actually defending. Lord Shijin, what are you doing over there? You need to assist us at Volderberg, do you not? Well, there's Lord Wu Song. We might actually want to get him, but he seems to just be standing there, so not entirely sure whether he's a little bit bugged at the moment. Maybe he will defect or something along those lines. Ah, there we have it. We actually have a Redwood Nation vassal attempting to defect to us. I actually like that quite a bit. Maybe we should consider his proposal. And it appears as though we actually have only some very small armies here. Zeladek, oh yes, Zeladek, the Chosen One, has been doing some very good work for us right now. It does appear to be actually chasing off many of the units that are currently sieging Volderberg. I actually like this quite a bit. Okay, well, let's just see. Let's take on Baron Hans first and see what we can do about him. Now, let's go. He has 56 relation with us. Can we? Nope. Okay. Not going to be persuading him in any way, shape, or form. So, let us just head on in. He has 144 units. Okay, this should be remarkably easy because we do actually have allies with us. Okay, so what are we going to do here? Well, our tactics are going to be to basically live. Yes, live. That is the primary function of everything right here, because we really need to survive against their onslaught. They do have some rather difficult to defeat cavalry units. As we know, the Reich is actually very good at that. Very, very good. And we're going to try to survive as best we can. Oh, wow. We are actually in the fight with Zeladek himself, and he is our ally. I have to say that I am incredibly impressed with that, because, well, as we know, Zeladek is very powerful indeed, and he is just absolutely rampaging through the enemy's lines right now. As you can see, due to the kill feed, he has killed, I think, maybe 4 or 5 enemy units. And I have to say that I am very impressed because obviously, well, I haven't killed, well, I think I've killed 2 or maybe 1. I'm not entirely sure, but nevertheless, he is actually beasting right now. I think he has just been taken out. I think he just got taken. Oh no, he's still alive. He is actually still alive. Wow. Okay, let's see if he actually survives even more. It seems as though he is actually succeeding at that. Wow, I gotta say, that is very, very nice indeed to see. An NPC that does not just run in and die immediately. That is very, very nice indeed. Usually these lords and various named units, they tend to run in where angels fear to tread, and as a result, they get themselves taken out more often than not very, very quickly indeed, which I gotta say is actually a little bit disappointing, because you want to see them in battle. You want to see them do very, very well and get many, many kills. And it appears as though Zeladek is actually pulling that off. So let's just see if I can actually, yep, there we go. Get on this mount, thank you very much. And now let's just see if we can eliminate the remaining stragglers. Well, apparently we don't need to, because our units are so incredibly powerful that I really do not need to do much, if anything at all. And of course we are with Zeladek right now as well, who is also assisting us. So there it is. And as we can see, we have, well, taken them all down. And, oh my, okay, so we have another 56 units for us to take on. Obviously, we are just going to be charging straight on in here. We have 31 cavalry. I'm pretty sure Zeladek has a very reasonable army of Illica Falki units as well. And as we know, they are all mounted. So we are going to be absolutely fine with that. We're going to try and take out some of these units, hopefully to take them prisoner. Are these? Yes, these trees can be passed through without any problems whatsoever, so thankfully enough we don't have to worry too much about running into them and having some difficulties along those lines, probably getting stopped among all of the enemy units and then being taken out very, very swiftly indeed. That would not be very nice, but thankfully enough we don't have that issue, and we are going to be taking out all of these units right here. Nothing to worry about at all. And hopefully many of them will be knocked unconscious so that we can actually take a couple of them prisoner as well. After all, we are the slave trading faction right now, so yes, we're just going to try to fund ourselves as best we can. And so there it is, only 2 enemies remain, and I think that will be it. That is a victory for the Reformian Rebellion. And there we have it. Okay, so 56 units have been killed, and he did manage to escape, which I gotta say is a little disappointing. and we will be taking some archers just to fill some of the spaces that we have free in our army right now. And we'll be taking many more captured enemies prisoner too. There we have it. Thank you. Anything else here? No. Okay, so we can then leave. And yes, Volderberg appears to be rather secure thanks to Zeladek also being very close by. I really do appreciate his help. And so, I think that will be it for this episode. I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.